Today's question is having to deal with the growth rate and full-size growth of silver dollar fish. I've had silver dollars in aquariums for as long as I've been keeping fish because I've loved these fish. They're all tetras and like piranhas, silver dollars. They're very similarly related, and a lot of people mistake them for being super tough fish to like keep with Oscar fish, and I don't agree with any of that. Just because they can stay alive doesn't mean that they're a good tank mate to keep with a big fish like an Oscar fish. This is my personal opinion. You can tell I just turned on a light to shoot this video, and all my silver dollars in here have freaked out just because that's what they do. See, there they go in the back. It's I think I have 6 or 7 of them in there. It's very common for them to bash the front of their mouth because they're constantly hitting the glass because things freak them out when people walk by or things change like lighting. You absolutely need to make sure you have enough coverage in your tank for these fish because they are highly insecure, a lot like tetras, and they need to be in a school. Like, I never keep 2 or 3 silver dollars. I always need to have like 5 to 10 of them because they do so much better. And I can see right now that these fish are freaking out just from turning on that light. Like their gill patterns move. They're freaking out essentially. And it's not good for the fish because it's a lot like anxiety with humans. You know, if you have anxiety all the time and you're stressed out, you're not going to live as long. And it's way worse with fish because a stressed fish dies. So I'm going to sneak here, try to give you guys a good view. Yeah, as you can see, I don't like freaking them out. So let's talk about full size. These things get very big. Like I've seen them at the fish store where people bring them in and they sell really fast because it takes a super long time for a silver dollar to grow like that. I've had this community tank up and running since I've started the fish room, and I've had those silver dollars at the same time, and that was years ago. And they eat very well. They're ravenous feeders, which is surprising even with their anxiety. So they take quite a while to grow that big. I would say 3 years and 3 years plus minimum for them to get like 5-inch fish. Piranhas grow a lot faster because I know that because I have my piranhas and they are already probably 5 inches long, and I think I've had them a year, and they need a tank upgrade. So it's going to take a while. As far as feeding them, they are omnivores, so they need both sides of the spectrum. They need the greens and the protein. So what I try to do is just use a lot of variation. That is the best with omnivores especially. God, I'm just like upchucking today. I don't know what did I eat for dinner? Oh, a cheeseburger and a soda. That probably didn't do it. But anyhow, I threw a flower horn in this community tank, and he is healing. You can see him right there in front of that pipe. See if he'll come over here for us. He's in front of that pipe, and you probably can't see him very well, but he was super beaten up. And like I mentioned in the other videos, I threw him in this community tank to see if he'd heal up because he's having issues being in other tanks. I think he's actually going to be more of a red Texas, judging by the coloration of him. But sometimes you can throw an aggressive juvenile fish in a community tank like this and they do just fine. So silver dollar fish, they take quite a while to grow. Just give them a good diet, variation, and a lot of hiding spots. I also agree that they need low lighting. A lot of people will just blast their tanks full of light. Fish with high stress levels don't necessarily enjoy that. So I think we enjoy it more than they do because a lot of these native waters aren't blasted with light like that. So like this tank, what I do is I just custom built this little light. It's just some DIY LEDs, and it's nice. It's not super bright, but it's nicely spread out, and it's like a mid-level lighting. I do that with a lot of my tanks because one, it saves on electricity. A lot of these big 48-inch super bright LEDs. They're awesome, but they're really power heavy, you know, like electricity usage. And when you have like 30 tanks like I do, this custom light uses 6 watts of energy, whereas like the 48-inch Fluval 24/7s or whatever will use 40 plus. So that's like that's a quarter of the amount of lighting, and I save a lot on the electricity bill. And what I'll do is I'll put some of my really cool lights on top of the tanks. So like when people come over, when fish keepers come over and such, right before they walk in, I'll turn on all the bright lights to showcase my tanks. But when people leave, they go back to low lighting, and I swear the fish enjoy this, and it saves on my electricity bill. Like this tank, for instance, is very low lighting. It's like the South American kind of dark water look, but I also have a brighter light on there. So, okay guys, I've been blabbing too long. I'm gonna end this. God, I gotta throw on a hat too.